Wide receiver George Pickens opened the week with uncertainty, but his rapid improvement became the brightest update for Dallas on Tuesday afternoon. After being limited Monday with knee discomfort, Pickens returned as a full participant, signaling that the flare-up did not worsen during the short turnaround. His availability is crucial, especially with the Cowboys dealing with multiple injuries across the offense and defense. The team expects him to be ready for Thursday Night Football. Pickens was one of 4 players whose practice status improved, a welcome trend during a week with minimal recovery time. Joining him were Dante Fowler, James Houston, and safety Donovan Wilson, all upgraded from limited to full participation. Dallas has been especially cautious with soft tissue injuries, making a full return 2 days before kickoff a promising sign. Coaches praised the intensity and professionalism these players brought to the week. Even with these positive updates, the Cowboys remain cautious about pushing their roster too hard. The team's medical staff continues to evaluate players minute to minute, particularly those dealing with recurring injuries. The short week compresses decision-making windows and limits opportunities for live reps during practice. In situations like these, walkthroughs and film sessions become vital tools for maintaining competitive readiness. Pickens' progress stands out because of his importance within the Cowboys' evolving offensive structure. His ability to stretch defenses, make contested catches, and produce yards after contact has been central to the team's identity. After posting another productive game against Kansas City, even without extending his streak of 140-yard outings, he remains one of the offense's most reliable weapons. His full participation this early is a major lift. With Detroit preparing an aggressive defensive game plan, Dallas needs every healthy receiver available. Pickens' injury history this season, including a calf and knee concern entering Thanksgiving, makes each positive update significant. His presence could shift defensive matchups in Dallas' favor, providing quarterback support in a crucial NFC showdown. The Cowboys will monitor him, but all signs point to him playing Thursday night. Clowney's absence raises concern during critical stretch. While Pickens trended upward, Jadeveon Clowney's situation became increasingly worrisome. The veteran defensive end did not participate for the second consecutive day, continuing rehab for a hamstring injury. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer confirmed that Clowney was limited to recovery work and is expected to undergo an on-field test before Thursday's kickoff in Detroit. His game-time status remains uncertain, and the team acknowledges his availability is day-to-day. Clowney's injury history makes every missed practice significant, especially after he also dealt with a neck issue last week. The combination of injuries complicates his evaluation, as the coaching staff must weigh risk, conditioning, and short-term recovery. Clowney was seen working with rehabilitation director Britt Brown using resistance cords, a sign that Dallas is being cautious but not ruling him out entirely. Still, 2 consecutive DNPs indicate real concern. This setback comes at a time when Dallas relies heavily on Clowney's ability to generate pressure and set the edge in the run defense. His recent performances have been among the most disruptive since joining the Cowboys, including his standout outing against the Chiefs. Missing him against Detroit, a team committed to physicality, would force Dallas to adjust rotation patterns along the defensive front. Depth will be tested if Clowney is unavailable. Meanwhile, rookie tackle Tyler Guyton also missed his second straight practice with an ankle injury, adding uncertainty to the offensive line. Guyton's absence limits the Cowboys' flexibility in protection schemes and could impact run game efficiency. Schottenheimer stressed that the team would continue to evaluate Guyton, but short week injuries rarely trend upward without visible improvement. The Cowboys may need contingency plans for his position. The coaching staff remains optimistic but realistic. Both Clowney and Guyton must demonstrate functional movement before the team clears them to play. Thursday's matchup carries significant playoff implications, but Dallas has made clear they will not jeopardize long-term health for short-term gains. The next 48 hours will determine whether 2 key contributors can suit up in Detroit. Lions' injury crisis deepens ahead of primetime game. While Dallas navigates its own injury concerns, the Detroit Lions find themselves in an even more precarious situation. On Tuesday, both starting offensive tackles, Decker and Penei Sewell, missed practice with shoulder injuries. For a team that prides itself on dominating the line of scrimmage, losing both bookend linemen in the same week is troubling. Their availability for Thursday is increasingly in doubt. The Lions' offensive line has been the backbone of their identity, enabling their dynamic rushing attack and offering elite protection. Missing one tackle is challenging. Missing both drastically alters game planning. Detroit may be forced to elevate practice squad players, reorganize blocking schemes, or rely heavily on quick-release passing plays to compensate. For Dallas, it presents a potential advantage in applying early pressure and controlling the trenches. Detroit also ruled out rookie standout Terrion Arnold, who was placed on injured reserve with a shoulder issue. Arnold's loss weakens an already depleted secondary that has struggled against top-tier wide receivers. Defensive backs Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph were both limited, signaling further strain on a unit facing one of the NFL's most explosive offenses. Against Dallas, these injuries could prove decisive. Adding to the concern, All-Pro receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown missed practice for the second straight day with an ankle injury. St. Brown's reliability, route-running precision, and ability to create separation make him essential to Detroit's passing game. Without him, Detroit's offensive versatility diminishes significantly. The Lions may need to rely heavily on their run game. Even if the offensive line is compromised, injury clusters can derail even the strongest teams, and Detroit's situation is trending in the wrong direction. With a short week and critical injuries across both sides of the ball, the Lions face steep challenges preparing for a Cowboys team riding momentum. Detroit's responses in the next 48 hours will determine whether this matchup remains competitive or tilts firmly toward Dallas. With injuries piling up at cornerback, the Cowboys have turned to rookie CB Siobhan Revel, who is rapidly becoming one of the most impressive early-season contributors. After recovering from a knee injury that sidelined him late in his college career, Revel has stepped into significant responsibility just 3 games into his NFL journey. Despite the learning curve, he has performed with poise beyond his experience level. Revel acknowledged that NFL speed initially challenged him, but the game has begun to slow down in recent weeks. "My body still hurts from these last 3 games, but yeah, it's definitely slowing down," he said Tuesday. He emphasized improved confidence in off-man and zone coverage, 2 areas where rookies often struggle. His film study habits and attention to coaching detail have accelerated his development. Statistically, Revel has been outstanding. Through 8 targets this season, he has allowed only 6 receptions for 65 yards, showcasing strong technique and situational awareness. His ability to limit explosive plays and maintain tight coverage has provided stability during a period of roster turbulence. Coaches have repeatedly praised his discipline and maturity in high-pressure assignments. Revel's rise comes at a crucial moment as Dallas manages injuries to Darren Bland, Kalen Carson, and Trevon Diggs. His performance allows the coaching staff to maintain defensive balance without overextending veteran players. A dependable rookie corner is rare, and Revel's emergence adds depth and confidence to a secondary still battling attrition. Dallas believes his upward trajectory will continue as he gains more reps. The Cowboys did not expect to rely so heavily on Revel this early, but his readiness has been a welcome surprise. As the team prepares for Detroit's unpredictable offense, his coverage skills and tackling reliability will be essential. If his progress continues, Revel could play a defining role in the Cowboys' mid-season defensive resurgence and long-term secondary plans. Diggs' return timeline takes shape ahead of Detroit game. One of the biggest storylines entering week revolves around Trevon Diggs and his potential return from injured reserve. Diggs has missed 6 straight games due to a concussion and knee injury, and his absence has left a noticeable void in Dallas secondary. However, momentum is building for his long-awaited comeback. On Friday, team owner Jerry Jones said he expects Diggs to play against the Lions, barring a setback. Schottenheimer later confirmed the team plans to open Diggs' 21-day practice window, giving the coaching staff a chance to evaluate his readiness. The Cowboys must activate Diggs before he can play Thursday, which would require a corresponding roster move. The timeline is tight, but optimism is growing as Diggs returns to on-field activities and conditioning tests. His energy and leadership have already boosted team morale. Diggs' return couldn't come at a better time. The Cowboys are navigating injuries to both Bland and Carson, and Detroit's offense poses significant passing game challenges when healthy. Diggs' ball-hawking ability, route anticipation, and physicality can transform the secondary's capabilities instantly. Even if he plays limited snaps, his presence alone forces opposing quarterbacks to rethink their reads and progressions. The team remains cautious, prioritizing long-term health over urgency. Diggs must demonstrate stability, full mobility, and comfort in lateral movement during practice sessions. Coaches are confident in his preparation but acknowledge the risk associated with returning from head and knee injuries simultaneously. The Cowboys will closely assess whether he can handle game speed after a 6-week hiatus. If Diggs is cleared, it would mark a significant defensive reinforcement heading into a crucial stretch of the schedule. His return would symbolize resilience within a battered secondary and give the Cowboys an emotional boost entering a matchup filled with playoff implications. Dallas hopes Thursday will be the night their star corner returns to action. Clowney's recent surge creates urgency for his recovery. Before his latest injury setback, Jadeveon Clowney was coming off his strongest game as a Cowboy. His explosiveness, gap penetration, and edge-setting ability fueled Dallas' defensive success against Kansas City. That performance amplified concerns when he was limited on Sunday and later ruled out of practice with a hamstring issue. Clowney's availability carries weight because he has become central to Dallas' defensive identity. During Sunday's media window, Clowney was seen working individually with rehab director Britt Brown, performing resistance cord exercises. The scene raised questions about whether he aggravated his previous neck injury or sustained a completely new setback. Schottenheimer did not clarify specifics, stating only that the team would continue to monitor his readiness. The uncertainty adds complexity as Dallas prepares for a physical Detroit offense. Clowney's dual injury scenario has forced adjustments in Dallas rotation. The coaching staff has increased work for Dante Fowler and James Houston, both of whom saw upgraded participation this week. While depth remains solid, Clowney's absence limits Dallas' ability to maintain pressure across multiple fronts. His skill set is difficult to replicate, and opponents must respect his presence on every snap when he is available. For Clowney, availability on Thursday will depend on functional testing. He must demonstrate acceleration, bend, and lateral strength without hamstring discomfort. Given the short week, the Cowboys recognize the risk of pushing him too quickly. The team is prepared to make a game-time decision, balancing the importance of the matchup with long-term durability concerns. If Clowney sits, Dallas must lean heavily on scheme versatility to fill the void. Detroit's offensive injuries offer some relief, but the Cowboys cannot assume their opponent will simplify game plans. With playoff positioning on the line, Dallas hopes one of its most disruptive defenders will be ready to contribute under the bright lights Thursday night. In a quiet but meaningful transaction, the Cowboys added running back Israel Abanikanda to the practice squad on Sunday. Abanikanda, a former fifth-round pick from Pittsburgh, flashed potential with the Jets in 2023 but struggled to maintain a roster spot amid coaching changes and depth chart shifts. His addition gives Dallas increased flexibility as they navigate late-season injuries and evolving offensive needs. Abanikanda appeared in 6 games for New York, producing 70 rushing yards on 22 carries. Though limited in usage, his burst and downhill acceleration made him an intriguing prospect for several teams. After brief stints with the 49ers and the Packers practice squad, Dallas brought him in to reinforce depth as Malik Davis moved into the RB2 role. Abanikanda's skill set complements Dallas' existing rotation. The Cowboys value athletic, versatile runners capable of contributing in situational packages. Abanikanda's college tape featured explosive runs and efficient lateral cuts, traits that Dallas believes can translate with proper development. For now, he will learn the playbook, compete in practice, and prepare for potential elevation if injuries arise. Dallas sees this signing as both a safety net and an investment. Depth moves often fly under the radar, but they strengthen overall roster stability. With the postseason picture tightening, teams frequently rely on practice squad contributors to fill critical gaps. Abanikanda now joins a Cowboys organization known for maximizing young talent. His opportunity may come sooner than expected depending on how the season unfolds. As Dallas prepares for Detroit, the addition of new personnel, combined with improved health from several key contributors, strengthens roster flexibility. Though not headline-grabbing, Abanikanda's arrival supports the Cowboys' long-term depth strategy, and keeps the backfield fortified heading into a crucial stretch. Pickens' milestone performance and final injury notes. Although his streak of 140-yard games ended, George Pickens still delivered a strong outing against Kansas City, recording 88 yards on 6 catches plus a 2-point conversion. The performance pushed him to a new personal record of 1,142 receiving yards, surpassing his previous high of 1,140 from his Pittsburgh days in 2023. Pickens is now one of just 2 NFL players, alongside Jackson Smith-Njigba, to exceed 1,000 yards this season. Pickens' production highlights his emergence as a true WR1 within Dallas offense. His consistency, toughness, and explosiveness have made him indispensable, particularly during injury-heavy stretches. The Cowboys lean heavily on his ability to win isolated matchups, convert critical downs, and generate momentum-shifting plays. His durability heading into Thursday's game remains a relief for an offense that has battled multiple injuries. In the secondary, Darren Bland briefly left Thursday's game with a foot issue before returning late in the matchup. Schottenheimer confirmed it was not a long-term concern and that Bland should be available against Detroit. Corner Kalen Carson continues working through soreness after the quick turnaround, but remains in consideration to play Thursday. Both corners are key components of a defense preparing for Detroit's physical style. Safety Malik Hooker, who exited last week's game with back spasms, is also expected to be fine for Thursday. His availability reinforces the back end of Dallas defense, especially with Detroit's injury-laden receiving core still posing threats at every level. Maintaining cohesion in the secondary is critical as the Cowboys await clarity on Diggs' possible return. As both teams enter Thursday's primetime clash with fluid injury situations, the final hours before kickoff will determine availability and game plan strategy. For Dallas, trending health at key positions offers momentum, while ongoing challenges for Detroit create uncertainty. The stage is set for a high-stakes NFC battle shaped heavily by who is able and unable to take the field.